I remember the first time I heard the word El Dorado. It was whispered in a museum hallway, a story about a city made of gold, hidden deep within the jungles of South America. But as I stood before a cracked map and a fragment of golden ornament, something inside me stirred. I knew I would chase that legend, not for riches, but for understanding. The journey began high in the Andes, where the air is thin and the clouds touch the mountains. The people who once lived here, the Muisca, the Inca, the Chibcha, did not see gold as wealth. They saw it as sunlight made solid, a divine breath captured in metal. They used it not to trade, but to pray. Each temple shimmered like the dawn, not to dazzle, but to speak to the heavens. Among their sacred traditions was one that would change the world forever, the ritual of El Hombre Dorado, the Golden Man. Once every generation, a new ruler would be covered in fine gold dust until his body gleamed like a living statue. He would stand upon a raft in the center of Lake Guatavita, surrounded by priests, incense, and the scent of burning copal. Then, as the sun rose, he would dive into the lake, offering treasures to the gods below. When the light touched the water, the lake turned to liquid fire. It was a ceremony of devotion, but for those who heard of it across the ocean, it became something else entirely. When the Spanish conquistadors arrived, they were not looking for gods, they were looking for gold. Stories of a golden king, a golden city, even a golden empire, spread like wildfire through Europe. Men sold their lands, abandoned their families, and sailed into the unknown. To them, El Dorado was not a legend. It was destiny. I have followed their trail, through jungles that breathe like living creatures, across rivers so wide they seem endless. The air there is thick, heavy with the scent of rain and decay. The cries of parrots mix with a hum of unseen insects. Every step feels watched. The jungle hides its secrets well. I carried with me an old diary, written by one of Orellana's men, the explorer who ventured down the Amazon in 1541. His words trembled with exhaustion and awe. We believed the river would lead us to the city of gold. Instead, it led us into madness. Their expedition lost men to hunger, disease, and despair. But even as they died, they believed salvation was one more river bend away. They never found the city. But what they did find, the mighty Amazon itself, became the greatest discovery of their age. Still, for the dreamers and kings who waited in Spain, discovery meant nothing without gold. And so, the myth only grew. I've stood where their camps once burned. I've seen helmets rusted into the soil, swords wrapped in vines, and coins half swallowed by roots. Each one tells the same story, of men who came seeking light but were consumed by it. For centuries, others followed, priests, mercenaries, adventurers, even scientists. Each believed they were closer to the truth. Each vanished into the green silence. Yet the legend endured. It evolved, from a golden man to a golden kingdom, from a kingdom to an empire hidden beneath the forest canopy. Cartographers filled their maps with imagined mountains and shimmering lakes, labeling the unknown as a terra incognita. Artists in Madrid painted visions of golden temples and radiant thrones. Poets called El Dorado the mirror of the divine. But here, standing in the humid breath of the jungle, I saw something far different. Not wealth, but faith. Not gold, but the reflection of human desire. One morning, after weeks of travel, I reached a clearing where the jungle opened like a wound. There stood the ruins of a forgotten temple, its stones wrapped in roots thicker than a man's arm. Faint carvings shimmered beneath the moss, spirals, suns, and figures holding golden orbs. They told a story older than any empire, of the children of the sun who brought light to the earth and returned it through offerings. At the center of the wall was a single figure, a man descending into a lake surrounded by fire. El Hombre Dorado. The legend carved in stone. I ran my hand across the carvings. The rock was warm, almost alive. And I realized then, El Dorado was never a city to be found, but a world to be understood. The Muisca, the Inca, the countless tribes that vanished into history, they built not a kingdom of gold, but a kingdom of meaning. Their gold was not possession, it was connection between man, nature, and the divine. Still, the fever never died. Centuries later, explorers returned with new tools and the same hunger. Airships, satellites, drones, all scanning the endless green for a glimmer of truth. Some claim to have found traces, hidden tunnels near Lake Parim, golden artifacts buried in Colombia's highlands. But the deeper we dig, the more the jungle reminds us that mystery is its own defense. At sunset, I watched the light spread across the canopy, every leaf flashing gold for just a heartbeat. For a moment, the entire world became El Dorado. I thought of the men who died chasing it, of the civilizations that guarded it, of the centuries that transformed it from ritual into myth. And I understood what they could not, that the city of gold was never a place, but a reflection. A mirror held up to the endless desires of humankind. We are all seekers of El Dorado in some way, searching for light in the dark, for meaning in the chaos, for gold in the dust of time. But the greatest treasure lies not in what we find, but in what we learn along the way. The legend endures, not because it is real, but because it reminds us that belief itself can move mountains, cross oceans, and outlive empires. As the night falls and the jungle returns to silence, I can still hear it, the quiet hum of something ancient beneath the earth. Perhaps it is the whisper of the gods. Or perhaps it is only the echo of our own longing. Whatever it is, it will call again. And when it does, another soul will rise, map in hand, eyes fixed on the horizon, chasing the glimmer of a dream that will never fade. Because somewhere in the heart of the world, El Dorado still shines. In a world where great stories come to life, every click, every like, every share makes a difference. Milky Way. If this video inspired you, don't just watch, be part of it. Hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss what's next. Your support fuels our journey, and together we'll keep creating moments that move hearts and minds. So, take a second now, like, share, and join our growing family of dreamers and creators. This is more than just a channel. It's a story and you are part of it.